What's up YouTube, ODST General back again with another update, but this time for Fire Isle, not Operation Trebuchet. We're going to be trying something a little bit different here for the next week or two and seeing how it works out. Because I don't know exactly how often Fire Isle content is going to come out. What I want to try and do is doing Fire Isle and Optray content every other week. So one week would be Optray, the next Fire Isle, then Optray, then Fire Isle. Don't know how this is going to work out, so we'll try and see if you guys like it, if it's okay with you guys, and if it works with the amount of content that gets revealed for Optray and shown off, revealed for Optray and Fire Isle. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about what we have this week from Fire Isle. So, we have some new renders of the BR, which was shown off previously. Not a whole lot new to say about the BR that we haven't already seen in the previous weeks. It's still an excellent looking weapon. Aside from that, I'm not a small details guy, so I really couldn't tell you too much as far as variation from previous renders or other versions of the BR we have seen. So yeah, not much else to say on it. Just enjoy the eye candy, and we're going to go ahead and talk about our next gun, which is the DMR. Now, this hasn't actually been shown off by the Fire Isle team, so I did find this at a public place. They didn't share this yet, though, so you guys are getting a first peek of it. At least a lot of you guys are. This was actually kind of teased previously. I showed it in my previous video, a barrel of the DMR, and I accidentally put it with some images of the BR and attributed it to being the battle rifle. So the DMR was technically teased by them. Aside from that, of course, it's based off the Reach variant. We see all the parts kind of disassembled from it in one of these images. Aside from that, not much else to say. It's a neat-looking weapon, gorgeous-looking model. However, it's a DMR. We've kind of seen this before. And once again, not being a small details kind of person, especially with these firearms, I really don't know what else to say about it, guys. So just enjoy the picture. Enjoy the parts of it taken off so you can look at it separately. And we're going to go ahead and once again move on. That brings us over to some weapon sounds. Now, these sounds were shown off by Tim as some weapon sounds he had tested out. Now, I know at least the sniper rifle from these sounds wasn't used. We had the sniper, which you guys are hearing now. The battle rifle, which you guys are hearing now. And an 8-gauge shotgun, which you guys are hearing now. Now, these are pretty cool weapon sounds. The sniper rifle specifically was not used. Now, I don't know about the BR or the shotgun. I don't know if those sounds are ultimately going to be used in Fire Isle or not. It sounds like they may be, but I'm not 100% certain on that. So just so you guys are aware of that, all this stuff should be taken with a big grain of salt, even the more complete models like the DMR and the BR. However, with that being said, let's go ahead and move over to vehicles. Now, we had a little tiny tease for the Scorpion here with the very end of the muzzle. Yeah, not much to say about this. It's a muzzle from a Scorpion. I don't know where this model is in development because this isn't a very high detailed part of the tank, so this could be a early blackout or the tank could be pretty much complete and we'd have no idea. So there it is, and we're going to keep moving on. That brings us over to the Pelican. Now, we have a lot more to talk about with the Pelican. So up first, we've got a panning shot of the interior cockpit of the Pelican. The devs have said that they've tried to design the Pelican cockpit with pilot visibility in mind, so you have good visibility in the area in front of it, the ground where you're landing, all that stuff. They've also talked about setting up picture-in-picture with it, so that you have roughly about 180-degree view around the Pelican that you'll be able to use to land. So with that being said, should be great news for pilots. Looks excellent as far as the details on the inside goes. It's obviously a lot more developed than the Optray's current Pelican. Of course, that's getting an overhaul too, so what that'll look like in the future, it's hard to say, but what this looks like currently, I'm very excited for. You can see it's a little tough to see, but you can see little tiny windows on the front right-hand corner, so you can see down on the ground, you can see off to your right. It's going to be pretty fantastic. Then they talked about loading vehicles onto it. Somebody had asked about that. They do plan to have a loadmaster position. How that will work is either the pilot or the co-pilot will slide back in their seat. Their seat will rotate around to a console, and from that console you will work as a loadmaster like you do in base Arma. So you will get a top-down camera that will allow you to line up to a vehicle, and you'll be able to load the vehicle that way. Now, I don't know exactly how that's going to work, if ropes will come down to the vehicle like the base game, or if they'll somehow magnetize using vehicle and vehicle loading. I'm unclear on that. Looking forward to it. It's a pretty neat concept. I definitely like where they're going with that, because it's not really something we've ever seen done in the games before. We've seen them unloading vehicles. We've kind of seen them, I think, maybe loading some vehicles up, but we've never really seen how it actually works properly. So I'm pretty interested in this concept here. Then we could go over and we've got a image of Zero talking. Now this is pretty out of context, so I do apologize, guys. I should have taken more of the chat, but I didn't think to at the time. At any rate, they were talking about weapons pylons existing, so weapons pylons are planned for the Pelican. If you guys aren't familiar with weapons pylons, basically you're able to edit the loadout of each vehicle when you're going in through Eden or whatever, and you can choose what loadout each vehicle has. It's a very handy feature. It's very requested for Optray. Some side mods have actually added it for Optray already, for some of the vehicles like the Hornets and stuff. So it's great to see that that's being implemented. And they did say that there is no extended troop bay planned at this time, which of course is another much requested feature. So I'm a little bit bummed out about that, but unfortunately we can't always get everything we want, right? With that being said, let's go ahead and move on. So that brings us to some concept art. Now, a new member joined the dev team with Farrell, Nico. Now, some of this is concept art, if not all of it was concept art that he made before he joined the dev team. With that being said, some of this, as awesome as it looks, the development team has said they want to go a different direction with it, specifically this insurrectionist warthog that we're seeing up first. I love this thing, I do. It's got a M247 machine gun strapped to the top. It's got a kind of a yellowish civilian paint job, a little bit of yellow tan thing going on. Some water barrels or fuel or whatever you want to call it strapped to the front. You've got either deflectors or turn signals or whatever on the mirror and on the side. And you got radio there. I love this thing. I wish this thing would get made. I would love to see this in game. I love this concept art so much. With that being said, like I said, the dev team wants to go a different direction. From what I've been told in the past, it sounds like they want to go for a more developed, more modern look for the insurrectionists. Something that's not like it's just cobbled together civilian remnants or military remnants. Something that looks like it's a proper opposing force. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on. Another concept he came up with is this concept for a heavy-duty mongoose. This mongoose has basically the role of the Hemet and similar vehicles in Arma. So it's got a repair variant, a fuel variant, a passenger variant, and an ammo variant. Aside from that, it's got a windshield. Obviously, it's got some additional wheels on there. Pretty similar otherwise to an actual mongoose. It's a neat little concept, once again, something we've never seen in Halo, at least to my knowledge, and I dig it. I would love to see this in the game as well. Very cool. Definitely like the stuff Nico comes up with here. Then he's got another concept, and I don't know if this was intended to be a joke or not, but I think a lot of people, myself included, would also love to see this, which is a remote-controlled Spade, which is, of course, the civilian vehicles from Halo Reach. These have not been made in full size for Optray. This is something I've wanted to see for a long time. A couple people have started them, just never finished. As far as what the point of a remote-controlled vehicle like this would be, there could be a couple different things you could do. You could strap a camera to it and have it be a remote-controlled camera unit, kind of like you'd see Rainbow Six Siege. Alternatively, you could just have it in-game just as a remote-controlled car, and then give the ability for players to strap like C4 and stuff to it. That would be fantastic. And some people have talked about that as a possibility. I would love that. That would make a great insurrectionist weapon. And I would imagine that some Optray units would kill to have something like this. I know a few, or at least some Zeus's would, for some Optray missions and stuff. And then in the same vein as that, we have one final piece of artwork, which is the UNSC Fence Post of Autumn Halcyon class UAV. 1.17 meters in length, armed with a spinal 9.5 millimeter semi-automatic rifle. And the power of adorableness. So once again, another UAV. And what I love about this concept is that if they wanted to, they could get a ship from Sins of the Prophets or Homeworld, or Halo Homefront, I should say, and implement that into the mod somewhat easily, and it would work great because any sort of lack of detail or whatever could just be attributed to it being a remote control model or whatever. I love that concept. And once again, you could do the same thing with bombs, but even if you didn't, you just had like a little pistol in there or whatever, that would be great. I love it. Want to see this. Want to see all of it. Love Nico's artwork so much. It's such great concepts. Alright guys, that is all we have for Far Isle this week. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm not sure exactly how much stuff they're going to be sharing coming in the next few weeks. So hopefully, not next week, but the week after, I'll have more to share with you guys with regards to that. Next week will, of course, be Operation Trebuchet once again, as per normal. And if it turns out Optre is sharing too much stuff and there's not enough stuff for Far Isle being shared, what we'll probably do is just return to normal Optre every week with Far Isle on Saturdays occasionally whenever there is enough to share, just on the odd day or whatever. We'll see how that goes, though. Of course, just like Optre, guys, I want to know what you guys were most excited about from today's video, what you guys are looking forward to the most from the mod in general, and besides that, I just want you guys to take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.